Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Cocktails with Carriers, and we have a couple of very special guests with us today. We have Lori Morton and Jay Moyer from our friends at Government Personnel Mutual and GPM. They just flew in literally like 10 minutes ago, and we handed them a cocktail. What cocktail are we drinking here today, Jay?
This is the Margarita.
The Margarita.
Signature cocktail from San Antonio.
I think I've heard of these before.
Yeah, you bet.
So Margarita, obviously, we try to work in the cocktail with the carrier. We're having a discussion. You guys are obviously from beautiful, large state of Texas, and Margarita seemed like the obvious choice. So cheers, everybody.
All right.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us. One more, Jay. Come on, you got to get me going. There we go. All right. We touched umbrellas. It's good enough. All right. So,
Tasty.
in Cocktails for Carriers, very tasty, actually. It's very good. It's not pre-mixed at all. So in Cocktails for Carriers, what we like to do with our guests is get to know our carriers a little bit better, have a little bit of fun, and that's going to be the goal today. So we've already covered why a margarita. Let's go ahead and get into the meat here, and I'll start with you, Jay. Why don't you give me a quick, for those of you people who might not know who GPM is, give us a quick 30-second history on this storied company in 30 seconds. It's not going to happen.
Well, great. Way back in 1934, a person named, an Army colonel named Peter Hennessy wanted to start a life insurance company for military service members. And he did that, and he wanted to form a company that would offer life insurance without a war clause. And GPM Life was the first company in the industry to offer life insurance that did not have an exclusion for war. So he ran the company for about 4 years, started it, and after about 4 years, he passed away. And his wife, Blanche Hennessy, ran the company for almost 20 years. She was the first woman president of a commercial life insurance company.
Wow.
Way back then, and she ran it for about 20 years. She even had to sign her name, B.T. Hennessy, because it wasn't customary to have a woman president of any insurance company back then.
Wow.
So we're
I
in
did
our.
not know that. I'm already learning new things.
And because we started working with the government and the military service members, we also serve federal employees of the government.
Yep.
And also we've expanded into a lot of other markets and obviously the Alliance Group. But we're in our fourth generation of Hennessy leading our company.
Absolutely.
So many of us have had a chance to meet Peter for Hennessy.
Yep.
Peter III, his dad, is still the CEO. So it's a family business.
Yep. And we've Peter has been to our events. Has been to our events. A lot of us have met him. That's a pretty awesome story. So, Jay, real quick, when did GPM hear about living benefits for the first time, or maybe not heard about them? When did you start working with living benefits?
Well, I would say it was in 2012 when we worked with a consultant, and with that consultant knew John Kraft, who was one of the founders and the CEO of the Alliance Group.
We love some John Kraft.
And they got us together, and that was the first time GPM ventured into living benefits, was with the Alliance Group. And what a better way to do that, huh?
That's what I was going for. That's what I was going for.
Yeah, so you bet.
We know that we love living benefits, and it's awesome to partner with GPM. So, Jay, you've obviously been with Alliance since the beginning of our GPM partnership, and now we have Lori, who I actually just got to meet for the first time like 5 minutes ago, and like I said, shoved a cocktail into her hand and said,
We go way back.
We go way back, all the way back to 3:05 p.m.
Yep.
So, welcome to Alliance Group. Thank you so much. What is your role with GPM?
So I'm the manager of marketing services, newly minted manager of marketing services.
Congratulations.
And I used to be the only member of the sales support team at GPM Life when we first started that department. So we've slowly grown over the last 5 to 6 years, and so now I lead that team amongst a couple of other responsibilities.
Well, congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you.
We're really glad that you're with us at Alliance Group. So why might an agent reach out to Lori Morton?
There's several things that could lead to that. You can always just call me because you want to talk to me. But like I said, I used to, dip my toe in sales support. And so I'm still fully available to any agent that needs assistance. You can always call, text, chat, or email me. But I also do a lot of training now, a lot of group training. And so for anybody that has, a group of agents that you just kind of, something specific you want to go over, something new you're trying, you just want to learn about our products. I do a lot of web meetings and things of that nature, training and problem solving, things like that.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
You wear a lot of hats, it sounds like. We definitely know what that's like here at Alliance Group as well. So you mentioned the call, text, chat. This is something that Jay and I were talking about when we were kind of doing the pre-meeting for this. You guys have this really unique kind of family atmosphere because GPM is one of our smaller carriers as far as company staff goes and actual, company size goes. Talk about that call, text, chat kind of approach that you guys are taking when it comes to agent service and being able to get somebody on the phone and talk to them.
One thing we've learned over the past several years is GPM has grown exponentially. Along with the Alliance Group, they've been growing every single year. We've grown with some other independent marketing organizations, and we experienced 80% growth 2 years in a row.
That's amazing.
And that does amazing things and challenges to your customer service team, your new business team, and your sales support team. So our sales support department has pioneered several ways to communicate because we found out that when things weren't going well, agent communication is critical. And they need to talk to somebody, and they need to talk to somebody now. So with that department, you're able to do a live chat. You're able to text them and get an answer, and you can always call them or email them. But what that enables our team to do is they can be having multiple conversations at once. Even though our team has grown out of 5 people, but they can be working with more than one agent once, one on a text, one on a chat. And
And it really allows agents, I imagine, to reach out the way that they prefer because some people prefer the phone.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a big text guy, right?
Yeah.
If I can just hammer out a text real quick and then go back to what I was doing and come back to the answer later. So that is excellent. And we really thank you guys for, making changes, at the company level to help, our agents do business the way that they want to. I think that's really important. So, speaking of production, so our biggest producers and agencies that do a lot with GPM, they're generally doing a lot of mortgage protection. So what makes GPM such a specially and attractive option for mortgage protection? I know you guys have some products with some pretty unique features, obviously.
I'll take this one. Yeah.
Sure.
So we've got several solutions kind of just depending on which way you want to go. If you're just looking for straight term for that mortgage protection, our Alliance term product is incredible. It's really competitively priced. It's really easy to submit the business using our e-app. And so you can't go wrong with that. But if your client is looking for more of, when I used to sell insurance, I used to call this the perm term combo, which is where, you want the term coverage for the temporary need, but you want a little bit of it to be permanent too.
Yeah.
So we have kind of a unique mortgage solution with our Alliance UL, where you can tack on our decreasing mortgage rider, which is really just a fancy name for a decreasing term rider. And it will decrease along with the mortgage balance. And then eventually it'll go away and you won't need it. And you'll be left with the UL base for the remainder of the mortgage and your permanent needs. So you're really just paying for the coverage that you need and not, a bunch of coverage that 10 years into your mortgage, you're going to be overinsured.
That makes perfect sense. And it makes a lot of sense. I think the reason that agents love that product is because they can explain it to a client and it makes perfect sense to a client. Like, why would I keep the same amount of protection if I'm paying off my mortgage? This goes down as your needs change, as your mortgage protection needs go down because you're paying off that mortgage. We're going to decrease that as well. And then you are left with that base of permanent coverage going forward. So it's awesome. That is a very popular product for a very good reason. And I think that's why you guys do see a lot of mortgage protection business at GPM. But, you guys, I don't want to pigeonhole you guys as the mortgage protection company. There are a lot of great opportunities for business outside of mortgage protection at GPM. So give me some reasons that an agent should consider GPM for their non-mortgage protection business.
Well, one reason is we just released our whole life insurance product for the Alliance Group. And that was early this year in January. And we've always had whole life insurance because we're a mutual insurance company. And the whole life insurance is dividend-paying whole life. And the big thing about that, it can be for people who need maybe a smaller amount of protection but want permanent protection and want some guarantees. It has guaranteed elements and it's got non-guaranteed elements, but it's a very conservative approach to not only protecting yourself but building cash value in your life insurance. It is the most conservative and has the most guarantees of any product. It also can be used for wealth planning. Some people use it for rolling over parts of their retirement programs into it, so it becomes non-taxable either at death or could become non-taxable at distribution and those kind of things. But it's a great way to have some tax treatment of some of your retirement funds.
Absolutely. So, and I know another thing that our agents have talked about in the past is that they love the underwriting at GPM, which has always been, underwriting at different carriers goes through ebbs and flows, and, agents, they might be singing the praises of one company, 1 month, and then 6 months later, they're shaking their fist at it. One thing about GPM is, our agents, at least from my conversations with them, they've always been a fan of the underwriting process at GPM and the results that their clients can see from that. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
Sure.
And the agents would tell me to tell you to keep that coming.
Great.
So let's see here. For somebody who, this is something, the industry, it changes so much and it changes so fast. You can say this at many carriers, but I think especially for GPM, you guys have really, grown and you've innovated in the past few years, which has been awesome. For somebody who maybe tried GPM 5 years ago, and they haven't submitted a case since for whatever reason, what are some things that have changed in the last 5 years that they need to know about, that you would want them to know about GPM?
Okay. Well, we answer the phone now. I think that's good.
We do.
That is a big improvement. Good job. Kudos for that.
I'm sure Lori could have a better answer than that. Go ahead.
Well, 5 years ago, the first thing that jumps into my mind is 5 years ago, we were still doing applications on paper, which for some products. I
remember that.
Yeah.
That might have been part of the inspiration for that question.
Yeah. Which you can still do that if you prefer that.
If you want to do paper, I see
sure.
you, Frank Tomazine.
Yeah. But now we are, catching up with technology, and we have e-apps for the majority of our products, which, makes it a lot more efficient. It takes out the possibility for a lot of apps coming in not in good order, which means they get processed faster.
Yeah,
so
of course.
That's what immediately jumps to mind.
For all the reasons that agents love doing e-apps. I mean,
right.
The agent in 2022 generally, outside of a few exceptions, is used to doing business now via e-app, which is crazy. We were talking about this again in the meeting before this podcast. Just how much things have changed in the industry. I mean, I remember when I got into this industry 10 years ago, I had my 10-year anniversary at Alliance Group just recently, which is crazy. I mean, they were still not only just paper applications, but I mean, you were collecting spit from clients and putting swabs in their mouth and mailing them off. I mean, it's nuts. So things do change a lot, and I think it's really important for our agents to know that GPM is dedicated to changing with the times with things like, introducing an e-app and things like that.
I might add to that, Sam, that our e-app is homegrown. We have a team that we developed that now does all of our e-apps, from development to tech support and to enhancements and changes. So, and Lori's team in sales support does a lot of work with agents who get on an e-app and something goes wrong. Well, if they can reach them by all those 4 methods, they can talk to them right away, and they might be sitting there in front of a client, and sometimes they can fix it themselves. If not, we can go right to our tech team who works for our company. They're not outside consultants.
Right.
And a lot of times they can fix the problem like that.
That's awesome.
And even if it's an overall problem, they can get into the system and just it's done within an hour. So
A lot of times it's browser based because there's so many different browsers.
Yes,
and so
yes.
it's just a little tweak and we can get in touch with the programmer really quickly. So it's a quick solution.
Right.
So
hopefully no one's using, Internet Explorer anymore or something like that. But you do have those folks out there. I know that you do. Okay, so you guys have a pretty cool little contest going on right now. It's cash on the card contest. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we just introduced it to the Alliance Group. It's called Loyalty Rewards.
Right.
And for agents who produce at a pretty significant level, we want to maintain their loyalty. And we've just rolled it out to the Alliance Group. And what it is you gain so many points for a certain amount of business within a month. And for the Alliance Group, if you can pay for $5,000 of business in a month, and I was really surprised how many agents are doing that right now.
Absolutely.
So they're doing that at a high level. They can get $100, $200, sometimes up to $400 a month put on this rechargeable credit card, depending on how much production they do in that month. So we know agents who are doing that level of production aren't poor. But we know that means a lot to them.
Absolutely.
They can use that money for leads. They can use it to take the family out for dinner or a nice weekend.
Use it to gas up the car these days.
Sure, gas up the car.
Mortgage protection appointments. Yep.
So we just introduced it, and the Alliance agent that earned the first loyalty or reward should be finding out fairly soon.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I know they're looking forward to that. I know there's definitely some big producers of mortgage protection that are good, that are definitely going to benefit from that. I know.
They're already asking.
I bet.
How much did I earn?
It went out in take 5, man. They are aware. They're ready. So any other exciting news on the horizon? What do we have in store in the future at GPM? We've been talking about some of these advancements that you guys have made in the last few years. What other changes might be on the horizon?
Well, I think early next year, we've been working all year on trying to get our underwriting ready so we can raise our non-med limits.
Excellent.
We're still basically at 250 for most of our products. We want to get those to 500,
awesome.
And up to an age in the 60s or something like that. So we know we need to do that. We're working on that. Another really exciting thing is early next year, we will have what we call point-to-sale decision which is an instant decision on our final expense policy, because that's the simplest. Mm-hmm. And then shortly thereafter, we'll be rolling it out to the other policies, the Alliance Term, the Alliance UL, to where information is placed on the e-app, and then if everything goes through and it's underwritten electronically, they can have a decision at that point.
That's fantastic.
So, and then down the road, once we get all that in place, we want to get to where policies are e-produced and e-delivered.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
yep.
we really want to make the best advancements in technology we can that benefit the agents.
Absolutely, and I know our agents will definitely appreciate that. We look forward to seeing some of those changes, and of course, no dates in stone yet. But it sounds like it's not too far over.
Do any of them give you dates in stone, Sam?
Some of them do. They just might not stick to them so well. So wait, before I take a drink, we do need to get to our rapid fire segment. This is my most favorite segment of Cocktails for Carriers, because it lets me ask them some really weird questions and see them squirm to answer them. So I'm going to actually start with a really easy one for Jay. All right, this is a little softball I'm going to toss you. These do get harder. Jay, what has been your favorite Alliance Group conference so far?
Maui.
Well, that is a very easy choice. Maui is absolutely beautiful. That would have been my choice as well. I was just talking about that trip the other day. We literally there were so many highlights of that trip. That was Travis's first trip with us, I believe, with Kenna. They did the road to Hana. Got some amazing footage. We actually snorkeled in a crater in the middle of the ocean at some point, which was up, and there were sea turtles everywhere. I saw a shark. It was pretty terrifying. But the Hawaii trip that's still one of our most popular answers with all of our agents. And we go somewhere really awesome every single year, for those of you that might be watching, if you do enough production with us. So, Lori,
oh gosh,
what is your hidden talent?
My hidden talent. Well, I have many talents that aren't hidden.
Right.
I'm a musician. I'm an artist.
There you go. What instruments do you play?
I'm witty. I'm humble.
The more she drinks, the more humble she gets.
My hidden talent. I don't really know.
I mean, so wait. Well, let's start there. You said that you're a musician. What instruments do you play?
I play the guitar and I play the piano.
Awesome.
For most of my life, my dad taught me to play the guitar when I was very, very small, and then I took piano lessons like every kid growing up, and so I've just continued to play.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic hidden talent.
Yeah.
Jay, what is the stupidest dare you've ever agreed to?
The stupidest dare?
Stupidest dare.
When I was in college, I was double jointed in my jaw.
That sounds like a hidden talent. That sounds like
I could stick a whole beer can in my.
What?
I could open my mouth wide enough that you could stick a whole soda or a beer can into my mouth. And once it did there, my jaw kind of locked up when it got out. So that was a pretty stupid dare.
So wait, you haven't done that since, I imagine.
No, I haven't tried that. Getting too old.
Oh, gosh.
That is a fantastic answer. Lori, name something that's not a big deal for most people, but is torture for you.
That's hard to follow, Jay.
That is hard to follow. Well, you know, it's not a big deal for most people to put a whole beer can in their mouth, but torture for me. Not a big deal for most people, torture for you.
Torture for me is, it drives me crazy when people answer questions with questions. I don't know if it bothers other people.
You wouldn't last long in an Alliance Group morning meeting.
That and traffic, which that's a terrible answer because I'm sure that bothers everybody. But
mine is definitely saying goodbye. My team knows very well that I am a big fan of the Irish goodbye because for some reason I see normal people do it all the time. Like end of the night, let's just go say our goodbyes to everyone. I can't bring myself to do it. I never have been able to. It's like such a bummer, and I don't like the attention of me or people trying to convince me to stay. So I just like peace out. That was what came to my mind when I came to that question.
I'm sure Jay could tell you a whole list of things that bother me because his office is right next to me and he hears me complain all the time. So
there you go. Yeah. So Jay, what would you be doing if you weren't in life insurance?
I'd be a pro golfer.
You should be a pro golfer. There's a lot of money in that, I hear.
On the senior tour right now. Yeah.
Can I be your caddy?
Amen.
Yeah, right?
Amen.
I would love to be your caddy.
No, I started golf when I was 8 years old, and my dad taught me. I never played on a team in high school or college because I played baseball during the same seasons. But anyway, I love the game, and if I could do anything, I'd do that.
That would be awesome. I would love to. I would also love to be a pro golfer. I'm not very good at golf, but that would be great. Lori, I've noticed you have a tattoo here. It's pretty rad looking.
Thanks.
I always like to ask the story behind people's tattoos. So if there is one, or maybe it's just because it's beautiful, what's up with the tattoo? Tell me the story.
Well, do you want to see it?
Yes.
This is just a small portion of it. The rest of it is
up around here.
Back there.
Up. Yeah.
It's just foliage and birds and artsy-fartsy stuff. But I went to undergrad in Austin, the University of Texas, go Horns. And, there's a lot of artists there. And, you can't get out of Austin without getting a tattoo. Yeah, so I got a few of them. Yeah, so
they make you sign a contract when you arrive right here. Well, that's
we
awesome.
have margaritas down there. So, I got a few tattoos.
Margaritas and tattoos, man. That's Austin, Texas for you. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed Cocktails for Carriers. You guys were fantastic guests. We got to learn, in some cases, very interesting things.
Yes.
About our carrier partners, but also about GPM. Guys, Government Personnel Mutual, GPM. You've got Lori here. You got Jay. They're fantastic. They have an awesome team behind them. They want your business. So you should definitely try them out if you haven't recently. GPM is here for all of us. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for having us.
Great to be here.